guys, it's Tom Box here from MST.TV, and we have MST.TV Oscar / Dank Deals. Team Dank
Shout
Deals.
out to my squad.
Alright, so we have a top 32
Yeah.
deck profile from Oscar.
I did
this
better.
This is WCQ
Yeah,
Nash.
WCQ 2017, Chicago. I came, I think after Swiss I was 25th.
That's pretty good.
No, not after
No,
Swiss.
that
sorry,
was
after
day one.
After
Day one.
No, after day one I was 35th. Right?
At the end of Swiss, you ended 25th place.
Yeah.
Oh,
End of
yeah.
Swiss. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Better than I
that was
thought.
right.
So end of Swiss I was 25th, and then I actually finished. What was it? 28,
28th?
28, something along those lines.
So,
I don't
top
remember.
32? Top
I
32?
got top 32. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. That's
Yeah.
among like 2,000.
Yeah, last year I got top 64, and now I got top 32. Maybe,
Back to
Yeah,
back.
maybe next year I got top 16. it's a fucking miracle that I got back to back. It's fucking amazing, honestly. Especially this time I got the prize card. Last time I got no prize card, and I was fucking.
Angel Flores.
I was a little pissed. But hey, no more jokes this time. I got the fucking
Okay, you
prize
got
card.
it. You
Here
got
is.
it.
In the arms of the angel.
No, but honestly, like, so yeah, I'm really happy actually that I managed to get the prize card, because last time I was very pissed about not getting the prize card. But so here it is. This is one of my Yu-Gi-Oh bucket list things, and I think I've accomplished a lot of my
Bucket
goals
list.
in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay,
and
sure.
This is my crowning achievement.
Okay, so what did you play?
I played Pure Zoodiacs. I was playing True Draco Zoodiacs, like my own build, up to the Friday, and then I just told myself that the math is just too strong for Pure Zoodiacs. Like, playing Pure Zoodiacs literally improves my chance of topping by double. Like, so, I mean, I would be a fool to just deny myself like that advantage, right? So I just played Pure Zoodiacs. I was pretty competent in the deck because I played it for so long. I got a Seattle win with it, so I knew the deck in and out already, and it was just adapting to the new list with Shuffle Reborn, basically.
Okay, see, I was also playing True Draco Zoodiac. You convinced me last minute, like
Yeah.
last final out, 11th hour
Yeah,
to
like-
switch list.
Like literally 2 weeks before testing, he was playing my True Draco Zodiac list, and then he switched to like literally.
Hey, honestly, within
The
that
Saturday,
hour,
yeah.
it was actually worth it because although I bubbled out around 8 of day one, it was still really successful because the Pure Zoodiac matchup was like 2-0, 2-0, 2-0.
Yeah,
Even if
so-
you lose die roll, you can still 2-0 the
Yeah,
guy.
so my deck is very similar to Marcelo's build, but I made some changes to basically make the deck a little weaker to Rogue in the early rounds, but very potent in the mirror match. This deck was designed to basically win the mirror match. I wanted to win the mirror match for sure, and that happened basically every mirror match except for one where I got just
Bodied.
boned on draws. Like, I opened 6 Zoo Monsters game 1, and game 2 the guy had Regeki, Maxi, Soul Charge, Twin Twister, Rat, and then he drew like another Dark Hole or something, and it was just pointless. He just dumped it with Twin Twister. Like, he had the nuts, right? And then I lost, of course, my top 32 match to Marcus Hayden. A very good player, and honestly, the most epic game I've ever played. Game 2, I had no cards, and I ripped Desires at the top. Desires into a 1-outer Barrage, and then I played the Barrage to make my combo, and then he did some stuff on his turn, and then the next turn, like, I normal summoned, like, made something, and then I had like an empty monster on the board, like an empty Trident that I couldn't use, and then I played Shuffle Reborn on it because I was under D barrier, so I put the Trident back, drew Pot of Desires again. There was 15 cards left in my deck. I played the Pot of Desires, and I ripped the one monster left in my deck, Whiptail and an Imperial Order. I summon the Whiptail, attack over his monster, set the Imperial Order. Next turn he draws Dark Hole, I chain Imperial Order, he scoops, and we go to game 3 in time. And if you don't know, in Top Cut when you go into game 3 in time, it's single elimination, so you can't draw. So what happens is you can't side, and then the players have to dice roll. So I was sided for going first because I lost game 1. So I dice roll and I won the dice roll. So he was sided for going second, and I was sided for going first. Like, it was really epic, and like a very strange turn of events happened. The final play was I Twin Twisted into his 4 back row to hit probably 2 of his real traps, so a Dimensional Barrier and an Econ was what it was. After the game, I knew. But I hit the D barrier, but I missed the Econ, and I couldn't attack for game, and I just lost because of an enemy controller that turned my Zoodiac monster attacking into his face down Thoroughblade for 100 more damage. Like if that attack went through, I would be at 7,500 life points, and his last turn he would be at 7,400, and I would end the board with double Trident in defense mode and a Forbidden Apophica face down that he would have to go through with literally one Ram and one Desires. So that would have been very difficult for him, but I
Didn't happen.
didn't happen because I didn't Twin Twist the right targets.
Okay. Well, okay. So I guess we could go into your deck profile.
All right, so scanning the deck profile. Shoutouts Utopia Kaiser, my very first prize card. Really happy about this. Shoutouts to YGO Fam Tokens, the boys, the OG boys. All right, and shout out to my token collection, Danny tokens. All right, so I played Pure Zoodiacs, 2 Rats, pretty standard. 3 Viper, also pretty standard. 3 Pharaoh Blade. Some people were playing 3 Ram over 3 Pharaoh Blade, or just 2 Pharaoh Blade. I feel like you need more monsters. Pharaoh Blade, the 1600 is really relevant to get over Masterpiece, because you need 2 of them, or like 2 Whiptails and a Pharaoh Blade. And also this card is really good when your hand is bricked, because it lets you cycle out cards, and that was really important. There was one game against my top 64 opponent where he D-barried me, and I played this, and I dunked Ram, and I drew a D-barrier, and that was fucking amazing, because I basically just won me the game. So shoutouts to 3 Pharaoh Blade, 2 Ram. Shoutouts to unlimited Rams that are my lucky Rams. One of them I won Seattle Regionals with, so that's why I played it. Maxi, of course. 3 Ghost Ogre. I think the best hand trap in the format right now. Not many people are playing Ash Blossom in the main, I think. And yeah, it's not that great.
Too many Zoomiers.
Yeah, and a lot of people were telling me to actually cut this from the deck because it didn't play around Shuffle Reborn, but it doesn't really matter because you just, instead of hitting the Broad Bow with the monster, you just hit the Chakanine, so like they have the dead Ram with the dead Hammer Kong on the board, so it plays around Shuffle Reborn, so just play this card. Spells, I played 3 Tenki, 1 Soul Charge, of course, this card's busted, 3 Barrage, standard, 2 Shuffle Reborn. I think it's the new quote-unquote tech of the deck. It's a very good card because it also gets rid of Flying Sea, and it helps you dead draw. I think one time I used this effect, I returned like a dead Exceed, and I drew Pot of Desires. I think that was happening in my top 32 match. That was insane. 2 Pot of Desires. This card was absolutely amazing for me all tournament. I might have bumped this card to 3, but I really didn't want to see multiples of it. But every time I drew this card and I resolved it, it was absolutely amazing. I never got punished because even if you banish a Rat, your Rat just becomes Foolish Barrel for combo, so it doesn't really matter. You don't need Rat to win the games with this deck. 1 Book of Moon stops Flying Sea, and it's also generic quick play spell. You want to play at least like 6 quick play spells because you want to be able to win going second with this deck in the mirror match. Going second with this deck is really difficult if you don't play quick play spells and you rely on your traps. So Book of Moon, really helpful.
So for Book of Moon, did it ever come up where you went first and your opponent dropped the Flying Sea on you and you have Barrage and you just booked the Flying Sea and just went off?
That happened to me like twice, but it wasn't in game 1, it was in game 2s and 3, when I actually expected to see Flying Sea. But yeah, I always kept this in. Enemy Controller is absolutely amazing. This card is basically Dark Hole plus Mind Control and 1 card in the mirror match.
Why don't we just call it Change of Heart?
Yeah, it's
Change of
better
Heart.
than Change of Heart.
Quick play
It's
Change of
quick
Heart.
play Change of Heart plus Dark Hole in the mirror match. It gets rid of the Trident because the Trident pops your monster, and then you play enemy control, you just take their monster, right? It's absolutely absurd. And I didn't play Dark Hole because of this card. Yeah, this card is just basically Dark Hole but better. I played 3 of my bodies as shield, pretty standard. This card is really amazing in this format. Your cards can't get board wiped. You play around the Trident. You play around my body with my body. Yeah, this card actually dictated the format for me. You know, I played around my body a lot. You know, if I had Ghost Ogre in hand and the guy normal summon Rat and uses effect, I knew he had my body, or I knew he had like a contingency plan. So I would just play Ghost Ogre in my hand so I don't lose my Trident. And then Trident would usually pop a Barrage or something. I tried not to pop monsters with Trident unless I absolutely had to, but this card was amazing. 2 Twin Twisters in the main. This is where it starts differing from ourselves build. I thought Twin Twister was better in the mirror match, and I really want this deck to beat the mirror match. Against Pure True Draco, Cosmic Cyclone is good, but this card going second against Pure True Draco or True Draco Zoo is also just as good. And I also really like to play where if they have the Return set and they try to tribute Masterpiece on your turn, you play something like Regeki, and then They train the trap because the other monster's going to die. They want to use it for tribute fodder. And then you play Twin Twister to hit all their spells, including like Tenkis and stuff. Then the Masterpiece is forced to tribute someone out, and then your Regeki will clear the Masterpiece because it's not spell immune. So you get to take the Masterpiece from their hand on top of their whole Sue board, right? That happened to me. That happened like once in testing, and it was ridiculous, I thought. But it never came out in the tournament because really didn't play that many True Draco decks. One Regeki, standard. I played 3 D barriers, the best trap in the format, I think, because Zoodiac is absolutely destroying. It's tier 0 in this format, right? So D barrier is pretty good. I played 2 strikes just because I wanted the more versatile trap lineup against some rogues, and it's also pretty good against Zoodiacs. I didn't play the Verd or I didn't play the Warning because, I mean, Masterpiece was in this deck. It's game 1 if you see Masterpiece, it's really difficult to deal with, and this and my body is one of the few cards that actually deals with it. But if you have it, you deal with it. But honestly, in that matchup, you really shouldn't be letting them summon Masterpiece. You should be doing everything in your power to stop Masterpiece from hitting the board. And I guess this is a backup plan if you really need it, but you shouldn't. But the combo, which was basically amazing all day, especially with the 3 Thorough Blades. Yeah, it's a resource contingency plan and really useful in the mirror matches when when the opponent knows what he's doing. So this card is really good.
Let's see I guess let's go quickly through your extract. Just run through it.
Yeah, extract is pretty standard. 3 Trident, 3 Broad Bull, 3 Chakanine, 2 Tiger Mortar, Orbo, Hammer Kong, Daigosto Emerald, Tornado Dragon.
You didn't need 1 extra tech slot?
Yeah, I didn't play the Dweller. I wanted to play 3 Chakanine or like 3 Broad Bull. I want to play the 9 of these in the extra deck because yeah, it surprised some people in the grind games. They saw like the 2 Chakanines, 3 Broad Bulls, and the 2 Dridents in the grid. They're like, okay, he only has Drident left in the deck, right? But I summoned a Chakanine. They're like, oh crap! Like it was the thought process behind it was these cards are way more useful in the mirror match and will be way more. There's a higher chance of you using this card than you will be using Dweller, because Dweller, think about it, is only useful going first and against True Dracos, right? So you're only going to go first 50% of the time, and you're only going to play True Draco about 10%. 20% of the time. Let's say 20%, right? And it's only going to be useful either 33% if you lose a dice roll or 66% if you win the dice roll. So the probability of you using Dweller is actually really low, and I'd rather just have these monsters.
Good.
And sideboard, I played 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 4 Head Beam. Pretty good. I basically sided it for rogue decks, so it was really useful. I did side it quite a bit. Flying Sea for the mirror match, pretty standard. 2 Gameciel for Masterpiece. I think I Gameciel'd 1 Masterpiece, and the guy was like, of course you have Masterpiece. Of course you have Kaiju, and I was just like, I guess.
Yeah,
I've been
I
once
do
all
have
day,
Kaiju.
I guess I have it, right? Twin Twister, the first Twin Twister for the mirror match, or like rogue decks. 3rd Econ for the mirror match, going second, because you really want to see this card going second. This is absolutely amazing. 2 Forbidden Apotheca. Still can't pronounce that card. Shoutouts to my teammate Nigel, who told me about this card. I was playing Exceed Universe before, but he convinced me to play this card, and yeah, it was pretty good. I heard there was a really bad ruling with it though, that Billy Break got messed up with. That like the judge said that even if there's at the end of the resolution of this card, there's only 1 Exceed monster, that everything gets sent.
That's not right.
That's not correct, and the judge should really reconsider that ruling for future tournaments. But this card was still pretty good. There was a time, like I was playing around this card and Exceed Universe after games 2 and 3 all the time. There was a game where my opponent in the mirror match had 2 of these face down and he never used them. I didn't give him a single chance to use them. The only time he used it was when like he summoned a monster and then I got rid of it, and then he barraged another monster out and he got another monster, like he made another Exceed, and he used it to clear my Dryden and his monster, right? That's the only time he got to use that effect, use this card against me, because I just played around, that whole game, and all the good players were basically playing around this in Exceed Universe. 2 anti-spells in the sideboard for True Draco, Zoo, and Pendulum. Do not side this card against Pure Zoo. It's god-awful against Pure Zoo. Please do not do this to yourself. And this was a last-minute addition to my deck, too. Wasn't siding this. I was thinking of just signing another card for the mirror match, But people were telling me that the Pendulum deck and True Draco was actually really scary. So I finally decided to side this. And of course, the Imperial Order on the side. The reason to side Imperial Order on the side is basically this card is a coin flip. 50% of the time is good, 50% of the time it's god-awful. If you win the dice roll, this card is amazing. If you lose a dice roll, it's bad. So just put it in your sideboard and don't leave it up to a coin flip, and you just decide when it's good. So put it in the sideboard.
All right. Well, let's get to your matchups. So, let's go through a rundown of your matchups, all the rounds, maybe.
Okay, so it's a pretty long tournament.
Maybe you can give it summarized.
Yeah, I'll summarize it. There'll be a more in-depth tournament report. I'll post it in the link below. So round 1, I played a Zoodiac Burning Abyss, which was really weird because I Flying See him. Like, I sided in Flying Sea and it just hit both parts of his deck and he just scooped right away. That was a pretty easy game, round 1. Round 2, I played the Mirror and I lost that in round 2 and I was like really scared because like, oh shit, I lost in round 2. That's not good. But I lost because game 1 I opened 6 Zoodiacs. I think I told everyone this. In game 2 he had the nuts. And yeah, I lost that right away. Round 3, I played Pendulum Magician. And it was honestly a really difficult matchup. It was actually Pendulum's Zoodiac Magician. It was a very difficult matchup because I didn't know what I was doing. In game 1, I made a lot of mistakes. Like, I tried to, like, Solemn the protection effect, which is like Dragon Shrine. No, not Dragon Shrine. Return of Dragon Lords, the protection effect. One of the Exceeds has it, and I tried to Solemn it, and he said, like, you can't do that. And I was like, oh shit, really? And then, like, I made a boatload of mistakes. And then game 2, I brought it back because I went first. Game 1, I was honestly surprised I lost because I opened Trident Emerald, and my back row was Dimensional Bear, Solemn Strike against Pendulums, right? Like, that's the fucking dream, like, opening, but I lost that one. And game 2, I won because I figured it out. And then game 3, it was a really, really difficult game because there was a point where I had a Feral Blade, Vipered Trident. That's the only card I have on the board. My hand is Ghost Ogre Soul Charge, and we were going into time, and he Pendulum 5, right? He Pen 5, I popped the Viper that came out. He made Enlightenment Paladin, added Pen Call back to hand. I Ghost Ogred that, and then he made Lightning to hit me down to like 3,600. On my turn pass, I draw. I play Soul Charge for 3,000, going on 600 in time. I summon out 3 Zoodiac monsters. He flips the trap, the Pendulum Magician trap, and sends 2 of the monsters I summoned to the graveyard. And then I have the lone Viper on the board, and I use the Viper to make Trident, another monster defense mode, and Tornado Dragon. So Tornado Dragon, I pop his one of his scales because I know he has Pen Call in hand that he searched for Enlightenment Paladin and the last card in hand, and then I pop another thing like his trap card with Trident. So he has the Lightning still on the board. And then I pass for turn, he draws, he activates something in the scale that summons out Enlightenment Paladin, and Enlightenment Paladin does piercing damage if it kills something. So I had to pop the Enlightenment Paladin and eat another lightning attack. He plays the Pendulum Call, and the card I drew off the Emerald I made along with the board last turn, that I forgot to mention, was Ash Blossom. So he played the Pen Call, dumped the last card in his hand, and I Ash Blossomed it, so he couldn't get his scales. And he attacked with Lightning, and the next turn I just like put enough damage to hit him down to 3,500. And then I had like a empty Trident with a Viper on the board, and he passed return, and he bricked, and then like I just won, right? And it was ridiculous. That game was ridiculous.
So he came back with like just one dragon.
Yeah, that was honestly one of the very most exciting games I had all tournament. Round 4, I played a Mirror.
2-0.
Yeah, lost the dice roll 2-0. Round 5, I played a Mirror. I won the dice roll 2-0. Round 7, I played Asian Persuasion. Johnny Nguyen, Minerva Mill. He was playing Minerva Mill, 60 cards. And I lost the dice roll, but I won 2-1. Ash Blossom was fucking amazing against that deck. Round 8, I played the Mirror. I won the dice roll 2-0. Round 9, I played the Mirror. Lost the dice roll 2-0. Round 10. Round 10.
So this is now day 2.
Yeah, day 2, round 10. So I'm still like expecting a lot of Pure Zoo because my deck is the whole idea behind my deck is it's built towards the later rounds, which I expect more Pure Zoo, right? I was going to rely on my skill to get me through the first rounds and then just rely on the deck for the later rounds, right? But round 10 I get in and I play against Pure Draco, which I really didn't want to play against, and I lose 1-2 after winning the dice roll. And game 3 we get into this really weird judge call where I guess I was not very clear with my opponent, and I apologized to him like extensively. But basically, I played a Tenki, and then he chained his knuckles on the board, and then he chained Magic Deflector to negate my Tenki, right? And then in my hand was Twin Twister, and I was wondering if I should Twin Twister his diagram and one of his face downs. But I was like, okay, in my mind, I was like, okay, go ahead and search for Knuckles because I want to save time. We're 8 minutes into the time. So I want to tell him to go ahead and just choose a target for Knuckles ahead of time. If he wants to change it after, that's fine, right? But so he can choose a target, but I want to think if I want to hold priority for Twin Twister, right? But I guess he interpreted me wrong, and I probably shouldn't have shortcutted. And he played, and he just resolved the Magic Deflector, so he thought I was playing Twin Twisters after the Magic Deflector, and that was really weird because, I mean, I totally don't want to throw 2 cards into the graveyard, right? So I got called the judge. The judge said, "Oh, I have to lose the 2 cards," and I appealed, and then the head judge came and said, "Oh, you technically had an illegal activation of Twin Twisters. He tried to activate it in the middle of the chain, so I just got it. So I just put the cards back into my hand and I set them, right? But it didn't matter because I bricked and I had no Zoodiac monsters, and he had a Fossil Dino plus a Knuckles. And he was just killing me, so I lost that one. Round 11, I played Pure Draco again. Totally didn't want to, but I did. But the guy didn't draw very strong. At one point he had a Skill Drain on the board, and I had a Dryden, and I'm just like the Dryden was already used, and no, the Dryden wasn't used, but I had no material on it, so I equip a Whiptail onto the Dryden with the Skill Drain already resolved, and I activate the Dryden to pop the Skill Drain. I chain Ghost Ogre, and I clear the Skill Drain, and I just kill him right after. So that was pretty useful. Round 12, I played True Draco Zoo, and it was a pretty fairly standard matchup. You know, like I won the dice roll for this one, so I got pretty lucky, and then I won game 1, he won game 2. And then game 3, I got in this really weird situation where he played Diagram onto the board with kind of like a bait, but like I had to calculate in my hand. He had like a face down defense position Ignis, and then a face up spell, but I had no face up True Draco spell, but I had no traps, right? So I had to think really hard about him activating a Diagram. I thought about for like 2 minutes, like, should I Ghost Ogre the Diagram, right? I had Ghost Ogre and Dryden on the board, and then I just let it resolve, and he's just like, he was so surprised I let it resolve, and he didn't know what to search, like, and that's when I knew I made the right decision, because when he picked up his deck, he was frantic, like, he didn't know, like, what to add, right? He expected me to hit it, and then he just added, like, a random trap, and then he just passed, and later on he showed me that, like, he had Barrage, right? So if I popped it with Dryden, he would play the True Draco spell to Tribute Summon Masterpiece, and I would have to Ghost Ogre it, and then he would play the Barrage, and I would just lose the game. So, I mean, that was a very, 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 I think, clutch decision I had there. So, yeah. So, round top 64, I had a mirror. I won the dice roll, and I got 2-1. It was a little different, but I played a viewer, actually, so that was really cool.
Viewer?
Yeah, I played a viewer of our channel for top 64, so congratulations to him. He was a very nice person, and I'm glad I played him.
Your opening hand, from what we saw on the Spectator, was like the nuts. I remember game 1 was the nuts.
I had like, yeah.
When I saw Maxi game 1.
Yeah, I had Maxi like D-Barrier, Rat. Like my deck was just giving me everything, right? And in top 32, I played Marcus Hayden. Very, very good player. I think he's got multiple YCS like wins, tops, and ARG wins. Like he's an amazing player, right? And game 1, I opened the absolute dream hand, but I was going second. I opened Regeki, Soul Charge, and Maxi, right? It was amazing, but I still lost that game because he also opened just as nutty. Game 2, I had the Crazy Desires play I previously talked about, and in game 3, I also talked about the ending, and that was honestly by far the best game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I have ever played. So I'm honestly not that mad about losing. He's a great player and one of the very, very, very few times, you know, in the mirror match, I would actually say that I was outclassed as a player. So congratulations to him for making top 16. I think he lost to Roland Fang, but
the guy
yeah, the second place,
the finalist.
One of the finalists. But yeah, he's an absolutely amazing player, and he was playing sick too. Like his voice was done. Like the judge had to clarify what he was saying constantly because I couldn't hear him. But yeah, amazing player. I have no quarrels about losing to him. He absolutely deserves to beat me.
Okay, it's pretty awesome. Thank you so much, Oscar. Well, nice to see you back on camera. And yeah, if you got any shout outs, of course, shout outs, nationals.
Yeah. Shout outs to, of course, the crew that came with me. They were instrumental to, you know, my topping. Shoutouts to the testing group, the Vancouver community for, you know, playing formats that I want to play. I made them play Northern format for my UK Nats when they were only playing, you know, current format. Shoutouts to, of course, Team Yank Deals for, you know, supplying me and helping me out with cards. And yeah, of course, shout out to MST.TV, our channel. Shout out to ourselves. Yeah, so that's basically it.
Alright, so thank you so much. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit us with a good thumbs up. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, hit that subscribe button down here somewhere. And as always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV.